Hello, everyone, and welcome in to the Golden Sombrero Show on BlazeOnline.com, live at the Bill Awesome Radio Studio. If you're watching us on YouTube, thank you. If you're listening to us on Blaze Radio Online, thank you as well. You can see us on YouTube.com. You can look at Ryan Blank's YouTube page. This is the Golden Sombrero Show, here to talk about baseball. You know what, guys? We actually finally some baseball news. Let's clap it up. Let's clap it up. Come to an agreement, finally, after 99 days of Major League Baseball's lockout. It is over. Players have reported to camp. Free agents are signing. Trades are being made. But first, let's go over the deals of the lockout. So, I mean, the important thing is, to me, that they're playing 162 games. So whether or not you want to quantify this as a Mickey Mouse season, that's up to you. You cannot use the game length or the season length to justify that. Games that were lost due to the fact that the season is starting a week later than it was supposed to, that those games will be made up in doubleheaders. Teams release their full and updated schedule today, so it all really depends on the team. They're going to have less off days throughout the season and a couple doubleheaders, so I think that's pretty exciting.
I agree.
Luxury tax went up. It's going to gradually increase every single year for the next couple of years. This deal is 5 years. Player minimum is $700,000 for rookies. The pre-ARB pool is worth $50 million, so just under $2 million per team. There's certain designations that you get based on awards that you got, and then the rest goes to the other players that were in the top 30 in WAR. So there's a couple of other things that you guys can both touch on, but what did we make of this deal?
I'll start. First off,
Yeah, I agree with what Cole is saying about mitigating service time. I think that's something that's extremely crucial because you've seen what organizations continue to do is abuse that type of power a little bit to mess with player service time, and that's something that needed to be changed.
right.
Bobby Witt opening day, right?
Yes, put Bobby Witt on the opening day roster, start him at third. But yeah, there's no reason anymore. No reason to do it. Put him on there. But there's two things that stick out more to me. One, universal DH. I'm glad it's here. I'm glad we finally got it. And then two, you guys know how much I hate California rule, and it is gone. I am so happy that there is no more runner on second.
Well,
it makes me so happy.
well,
Hold your horses.
I know they're
come back
thinking
next year.
about it, but
I think
please
it's a
don't
great
do it.
rule. in like the starting the 12th inning.
Fine. Do it in the 12th. If it's getting crazy long, fine. Do it in the 12th. Do not do it in the 10th and the 11th. It is ridiculous. You guys know my feelings about it. But I'm also happy that doubleheaders are going back to 9 innings. I think it's ridiculous that it was 7.
No Mickey Mouse doubleheaders.
Yeah, no Mickey Mouse doubleheaders.
No
I'm
Mickey
tired
Mouse,
of them.
no headers or
Yeah.
Mad
Yeah.
Bum. Poor Mad Bum.
Yeah,
I don't
he
ever.
got screwed.
he'll live in infamy in my book.
I don't ever say poor Mad Bum, but
Neither do I, but he got screwed.
Yeah.
yes, for different reasons, of course.
So
For the same reason though.
So I think that those two things are very crucial, but mitigating service time is also big. I'm just so happy that a deal got done. Cole, you mentioned the conversation we were having once the deadline reached and there was no deal. Now that there is a deal, it makes it so much better that baseball's back. We get 162 games. There's going to be a lot more doubleheaders than we're used to, but that's okay. As long as we get 162 games and baseball's back, that's all that matters. And I love everything that's going on, and we'll get into that.
Yeah, some teams are only going to have to do a handful of doubleheaders. So
Yeah, and I don't think that's too bad.
no, it's not going to be a huge deal. It's just going to be tough for like the teams because I believe it's 6 teams per league, or in the entire MLB who like didn't open the season or like every single week have to play games against teams that aren't in their division, and it's at least 6. But I know for the opening weekend it's 6.
Mm-hmm.
And when you come around and you face those teams again, you don't play those teams another time. Right. So it makes scheduling a heck of a lot harder. And, I mean, if these two sides came to an agreement earlier, then they wouldn't have had to deal with this problem. Obviously,
Right.
It's not a bad problem now that they are going to get their full salaries and whatnot. So we just wanted to do a quick little dive into that, our CBA thoughts.
Yeah, and the fact that they're getting fully paid is crucial for the players because otherwise I don't think you have baseball if they don't get their full pay. 100%.
Well,
it's a whole nother can of worms that opens up.
Yeah, exactly.
They were going to get their full pay because they're contractually obligated.
Yeah.
So like if they were to play 155 games, they were going to say, all right, we're going to get full pay. Otherwise, we can take something out of our agreement that benefits you. And it would have likely been the expanded playoffs because there are also expanded playoffs. Now, 6 teams in each league make the playoffs. Top 2 seeds get a bye. And then 3, 6, 4, 5 will play in a 3-game wild card series, the Mickey Mouse wild card series that the Padres
I love it.
thrive in. Oh, no, it's great. And
I love it. I think you need to move to 3 games. As great as it was being at the 2014 wild card game for the Royals, I absolutely love having it be 3 games.
It's not even just that game, though. I will say this.
There have been some incredible wild card games.
The 2017 and a wild card game.
Yeah, that's the first one that comes to mind naturally for me.
Yeah, respectfully.
Yeah, my whole gripe is like 3 games is fine. 3 games is fine.
Yeah,
I think that's a good amount. But I really, really do like the whole idea. Like you play 162 games, you barely make the playoffs, and you have 1 game to decide your season.
And as we all know, baseball is like one of the most like just unpredictable sports.
Yeah.
Like in the 2019 wild card game, the Brewers so outplayed the Nationals.
Yep.
But they lost because of
one error.
No, it wasn't just an error. It was a hit by pitch, a just total GM job single, a full count worked walk, which was really earned, and then the single with the error.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was fantastic. It's games.
I mean, and that was absolutely electric. We're not trying to take anything away.
It's games like that where you're the slightest error, the slightest mistake literally ends your season. That I just think have made baseball has set it apart so much more from any other sport.
And you don't have like any other opportunity to make up for it, like in a 3 or 5 game series.
Yeah. So the 3-game set I'm fine with, but I do really think they just should have kept the 1-game wild card. And hey, if you did 3, like they're gonna have 3. What is it? You said 3 wild card matchups, 3-game series. If they had 3 wild card rounds of just 1 game per league, dude, that's 6 games that are potentially just nuts.
Right.
Either way, I think it's still going to be super entertaining. It is at the end of the day more baseball. So that is a silver lining for us.
And also a silver lining. Our 3 teams undefeated in wild card round play.
That's true.
Royals 2014, D-backs 2017, 2020. So what I'm hearing is one of our teams are going to win in the wild card round next year.
Regardless.
Yeah, regardless. It doesn't matter what happens this year, but that's what I'm picking up. Maybe all three of our teams. That would be epic.
Yeah, that'd be pretty great.
That'd make for some good golden sombrero content.
That would be pretty great.
Well, we'd be graduated by then, but
Yeah, that's
anyway,
nice.
we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But yeah, baseball's back. Teams have reported to spring training. Cole, you're going to Brewers spring training tomorrow.
I am. Yeah.
I was at Padres spring training yesterday, and Ryan, I'm sure you will make it out to spring training soon.
I have some business to take care of before I go cover some spring training, but I am going to do that, and I hope to have the opportunity to do so because I think that'd be awesome.
Brian's gonna be out there too.
Yes, and I mean, you could go out there as a fan. No one's stopping you as a fan.
Oh, I want to go cover it.
Yeah,
I really want
right.
to.
I mean, I do too. I was supposed to be at Brewer spring training today.
That's part of the reason I came to school here, guys.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, that's 100%
That
part of the reason for all of us. You know?
That was a major selling point for me.
Yeah,
Right. So
that opportunity is awesome.
the fact that it almost got thrown out the window was tough, but
I think I would have had to come back to the bureau for spring of next year at the latest to do it.
Probably going to do it anyways, just because.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not? Yeah. But I mean, spring training, it's exciting. I mean, and it's really important for local businesses here in the Phoenix area and just throughout Florida as well. So
yeah, very true.
And they get an extra week in there too, thrown in at the end of this, end of spring training. So I think that they're not missing out too much. Obviously, it started 2 weeks later than they would have liked it to, but they're going to get an extra week. At the end, and with that,
better late than never.
Yes,
that's the approach you got to take to it. The mindset, you know.
Yeah, 100%.
Yep.
With that, there have been moves that have been made now that teams can start talking about their players. They can pretend that they exist now, which is a wild concept. Also, like player pictures are back on the website, which
is kind of
that was refreshing to see.
It was.
Not going to lie to you guys.
Yeah,
it's kind of funny that they did that.
But we've had some moves, and we're going to start off by talking about two teams and their moves that they have made, because a focal point of this CBA discussion was to try and eliminate tanking or making it harder to tank or rewarding teams for not tanking. So two teams have basically gone out and have, waved the white flag saying we are trying to tank. And those two teams are the Oakland A's and the Cincinnati Reds.
100%.
The A's have already traded away three of their best players, Matt Olson, Matt Chapman, and Chris Bassett. Yes, Chris Bassett to the Mets, Matt Olson to the Braves, and Matt Chapman to the Blue Jays today. We'll talk about the Reds in a little bit. Ryan, pick a move that the A's made and give us your thoughts on it.
I got to look at the Matt Olson deal. I think that they got some really good hauls. So I think that their ability to take advantage of having 3-star guys and make moves to where they can really replenish their minor league system and bring some hope for the future. That's what the A's do. They don't pay big contracts. They let their guys develop, get really good, become all-stars, and then trade them. And then the Braves just gave Matt Olson 8 years, $168 million extension, which I think is low. Yeah, I think that's cheap. And you saw Matt Olson's coming off of a career year, and I think that he's a very good guy to have when losing Freddie Freeman. I think that's how the Braves look at it, and he's a hometown guy. So that connection is also really cool for fans there. But I think the Matt Olson deal, they got Christian Pache, which is going to be really interesting to see where he fits in that outfield. Could Ramon Laureano be on the trade block, which I think he is. I think a lot of guys are. So I think it's going to be interesting. But the Matt Olson deal, they got some pieces that really help boost that farm system.
No, and that move was evident when they let their head coach, Bob Melvin, leave for
Yeah.
the San Diego Padres.
Right.
So these moves had been in the making for a while. It was
Mhm.
just where could the A's capitalize and get the most capital from? And the third one was starting pitcher Chris Bassett and to the New York Mets. JT Ginn and Adam Aller are the two guys going back in return. They're not too high level guys, but Chris Bassett isn't this like extreme high level arm. Very good. He's been very dependable over the last several years. He's not going to be a guy that everyone's going to go wow over, but he's the type of guy that the Mets need because you can't have Jacob DeGrom and Max Scherzer pitch every 5 days. You need to have other guys you can roll out to the mound and depend on. And Chris Bassett is absolutely that guy. He's got a nice over the top release, good curve, good sinker. Throws a cutter to go along with it, a changeup. Really fun pitcher to watch.
Can pitch deep into games too.
Yes,
Ball guy.
and from what I've seen and from what I've heard from our resident A's fan here at Cronkite, Parker Dunn, bless you, man. You're it's gonna be
In it
yeah.
for the long haul.
Yes. Yeah,
They'll be good again someday.
they will be. They're a well-run front office. Say what you want about the ownership. They're a well-run front
Yeah,
office.
they're well-run front office. It's just their ownership will not pay a dime for anyone.
There's a method to their madness.
Yeah, it's that cycle that gets them to where they can make the playoffs and compete, but they can't get over the hump to win a championship, which comes down to you have to spend a little bit of money, which they won't do. So
And so Bassett is like a great clubhouse guy. Everyone loved him, and it's going to be one of those guys that needs to help change the culture of the Mets because, well, the Mets they aren't exactly well known for their
Clubhouse
for their strong cultures and clubhouses, but they have a lot of personalities there in New York, which is a good thing to go along with your talent. But you need guys that can really reel them all in, and it seems like Chris Bassett is that guy. So I mean, for the A's, like you guys mentioned, got a lot of great talent. It's not going to maybe be seen for a couple of years, but
At least.
that the fact that they were able to get solid returns for all these guys is really what matters. And then next, going on to talk about the Reds. I mean, the really head scratching move here was trading Jesse Winker and Eugenio Suarez
Oh boy.
to Seattle. That was really bad. Trading Sonny
Oh.
Gray to Minnesota, and then what else did they do?
Amir Garrett to the
Amir Garrett
Royals.
to the Royals.
Letting Wade Miley after the year he had just basically walk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they let
that-
him walk for nothing.
This was
That was
before the
before the
lockout.
Yeah,
but
before
yes,
the lockout, but yeah,
Yeah.
still something that's notable.
it happened.
Yeah.
So the Reds, they are tanking in after a year in which they were nearly 500. They have the rookie of the year. Joey Votto had a resurgent year. Their starting pitching was starting to look really promising, and now they're kind of shipping it all away.
Now they're saying
But
we're all in on the rebuild, it looks like.
yeah, so Cole, what do you think about the Reds?
Yeah, I mean it's sort of in the same vein, I think, as the A's. The only thing I will say is they got a little less of a return on some of these trades. I will say the Suarez and Winker deal inherently had a better return. Justin Dunn is a little suspect at this point. He's kind of been up and down at the big league level, but he's been solid in 102 and 2/3 big league innings. He has a 3.94. I mean, he's solid. I would assume he's probably going to be a placeholder somewhere in the rotation this year. The question is like what spot and how much of an emphasis they're going to put on him, but he's solid. He's kind of had his lapses though. I think I really do like the Brandon Williamson pickup. I have a few scouting friends who actually say they like him more than Emerson Hancock when they were both in the organization together. But now obviously Williamson's a Red, so that's pretty encouraging. I think Jake Fraley's just a nice depth outfielder. Speed guy, can play defense pretty well. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the. I got to be honest. I don't like the Sonny Gray trade. I don't really like that. I think I thought he was a great fit for them.
And getting Petty, who's supposed to be really good.
Chase Petey's pretty good.
He's not going to be in the majors for a long time, though.
So that's going to be. Which look, if there's any organization that can develop pitching, it's the Reds. Make no mistake there. But I mean, it's going to be a minute before that guy gets called up. So I will say that their depth at pitcher, organizationally, is is insane right now. So that's a plus. But like, there's so much other stuff that you have to iron out and figure out in the coming months / years. Because I really thought this team was kind of on the fringe of being like legit, and now they're selling out to kind of be better in the future. And with guys like Joey Votto, who can still hit and contribute, they had Castellanos. They're going to let him walk too. It just kind of feels like a blatant we're kind of just giving up on this. So I mean, they have they have some cornerstones of their future. Jonathan India, I think, is going to be there, and he's going to be good for a while. I think it's who's the catcher? Tyler Stevenson.
Yeah, he's really good.
He's going to be really good.
Shout out Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech catcher.
Georgia Tech's they got some catchers. But I don't feel as good about what they did as I do about the A's. Let's just put it that way.
I would agree with that sentiment. Ryan?
I agree. I think the A's got a much better hauls for the trades that they made. But I'm going to take the flip side of these trades. I'm going to talk about the Mariners and what they're getting. I think that trade that they made is worth it.
Oh, it's a fantastic trade.
It's fantastic
100%.
Because what they want to do was boost that lineup, and that's what they did. They got 2 big power bats, which I think is key for them. But the one thing for the Mariners is pitching, which is where I think the rest of their offseason is going to be focused at, is adding to the bullpen maybe another arm or two, which was solid last year. It's that starting rotation. I know they got Robbie Ray. I don't know if that's enough. So I need to see them add another starter, but they definitely boosted that lineup by getting 2 power bats, which I think was key for them. But now I'm going to talk about the Royals, just because the Royals actually did something.
Talk about the Amir Garrett trade.
So the Mike Minor trade is definitely worth it because Mike Minor was set to make $10 million this year. Amir Garrett set to make $2 million. So the difference in the money there, the Royals saved $8 million, which gave them the opportunity to go sign Zach Greinke, which I can talk about later. But getting Amir Garrett, I think, is more important than keeping Mike Minor because the Royals need a left-handed arm in the bullpen. And Amir Garrett brings that. He's another late innings guy. So I like that. I know he struggled last year. He did.
A lot.
Yeah, severely. He struggled severely last year.
Change of scenery, you never know.
Change of scenery. And I think that
better
getting him into
too.
Way better ballpark. That's very true.
Yeah.
Kauffman is a very, very much a pitcher-friendly ballpark, which I think will help.
And Great American Small Park is not.
Yeah.
You flick your wrist, the ball's going over the fence.
Ball flies in it, shallow.
But I really do think that getting Amir Garrett helps the Royals bullpen, which is really what they needed to do this offseason. So I'm very happy with that trade. Plus, it saved money to where they could go out and bring back one of my favorite Royals ever. So very happy with the trade. Plus, Mike Minor was not going to be a guy that wanted to be in the bullpen. He wanted to be in the starting rotation, and the Royals rotation is kind of set.
Yeah, I mean, I think that move elevates the Royals to the point where they could be a playoff contender, especially with that extra playoff spot. So
I agree with you on that.
They have some potential. They still need to make a couple more moves, such as trading for Eric Hosmer.
No.
Some
Nick
Royals.
Otto is coming up. Okay, he's coming.
Eric Hosmer can groom him into a
we have Carlos Santana for that.
Sure,
Carlos Santana, I think, is going to be very pivotal for the young guys this year. So he's keep Carlos, bring up Prado, bring up Melendez. Bobby Witt better be on the opening day roster. But I'm very happy with what the Royals did today, making a couple moves.
Yeah, and just for the Reds, I mean, they're in a position where they can compete. I mean, the Cardinals, they're good, but they're not like overly dominant to the fact where
I agree.
They're going to
win the
division.
That's still an inherently weak division.
Yes,
it is.
It always is.
The Cubs have made some moves to say, all right, we're trying to win, but they haven't gone too far in, which is not a horrible spot to be in.
Yeah.
Especially considering some of the trades that they made at the last trade deadline.
Mm-hmm.
But that division was up for grabs. I mean, for a long time, the Reds were in second place in that division last year. When the Cardinals were like, we're going to go win 17 straight because we're the Cardinals and we are inevitable. But it's just a tough spot because you really feel for the Cincinnati Reds fan base. Fortunately for them, they got to see a good Bengals season, but
Yeah, that's fair.
The Reds are such a historic franchise, the original franchise in Major League Baseball, and they've won several World Series in their franchise history, but it's hard to see them continuing to compete when your fifth highest paid player currently on this roster is in the Baseball Hall of Fame. It's Ken Griffey Jr., in case you guys did not know that.
I saw that tweet the other day.
That's a rough tweet.
That was an interesting nugget, to say the least.
Like, I mean, I have very little room to talk about that because the Padres have had their fair share of
Eric Hosmer.
well, not just Eric Hosmer, because Eric Hosmer is still playing.
I know.
The
just
most
throwing that in your face.
abysmal contract.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, he's in that echelon, but like he's playing. So like there's a chance that he turns it around.
I also just like throwing that in your face.
If you're still paying a guy who is like
in the Baseball Hall of Fame,
who is decades removed from the game, maybe not decades, but
decades
removed from baseball, like what the heck is going on? Like
what are you doing?
Well,
I agree.
Injuries plagued Griffey. That's not the point of this conversation. But
no,
the real point is that the Reds are acting like a poverty franchise, and they really shouldn't be. So tough scene for the Reds. There's a deep drive by Castellanos. That'll be a 4-0 game. But you know they're in a tough spot, and if you're the Cubs, who are kind of in that middle ground, you're kind of staring down like we're the third best team in this division, and we have a talented roster. They added Andrelton Simmons, who is going to play shortstop. I think that's a great underrated signing. Just $4 million.
It's not Correa, but it's
something.
What the heck were they going to do with Correa, to be honest? You know what I'm saying?
And especially with a couple of like ground ball heavy pitchers and Kyle Hendricks and Stroman.
It was a phenomenal sign.
Yeah, and they also got outfielder from Japan, Seiya Suzuki, who is heavily rumored to the Padres. In fact,
he got paid.
He did. That was
5 years, 85.
Yeah.
Paid.
Big contract. In fact, he was so heavily rumored to other teams that Padres beat reporter Kevin Acee was like, we're just waiting on the Suzuki news to drop for the Padres. And then Monday was a tough day. We don't need to talk about it.
Oh, I think we should.
Hey, Ryan, we don't have to. Yeah, there are other important stuff we can talk
Which
about.
one?
There's not too much.
Yeah,
which one, Dom?
Thanks, Ryan.
Hey, I'm here to support you, buddy.
Doing a great job. The Cubs are in a position where they're in third place and they can make a run at an 80 plus win season.
I agree.
Especially picking on the Pirates, who are going to be bad but have a seemingly bright future.
Figuring things out.
The Reds, who are actively tanking but have a really promising future in the world of starting pitching. If they extend, see now what the Reds can do to make up for this is they can go out and say, all right, Jonathan India, we're going to get you paid because we want you to be here.
Yeah.
Luis Castillo, you've been phenomenal for us. We have other guys that are going to come up. Let's lock you up. Let's keep you in Cincinnati. We're sorry that this ballpark sucks, but whatever. You just got to strike guys out.
Pitched effectively as you can in that too.
We got Hunter Green, former second overall draft pick. He's coming up.
It's going to be
yes. Bell said that he thinks that he could be ready come opening day, be in that rotation. Nick Lodolo, one of the top left-handed pitching prospects in all baseball, and now they have Chase Petty. I mean, you're looking at a potential really good 4 starting pitchers in 3-ish years, depending on when Petty, who was just drafted out of high school, gets up there. So they can make things work. Yeah. But if you're the Cubs, you have to be saying, all right, we're not in a horrible spot. We've got a more relished farm system now that we traded away our guys who unfortunately are going to be leaving us.
Yeah.
But they also have some talent. I mean, Patrick Wisdom, 30-year-old rookie. The track record of those guys is not great, but was phenomenal.
Whit Merrifield was in that boat.
Right. I said it's not phenomenal. I didn't say they're always bad.
A victim of the whole service time problem, man.
Oh, exactly. That's one of the worst things to come out of the whole service time thing is that there are so many talented guys that have just gotten screwed and then they don't make their debut till they're like 30. It's terrible.
Well, and two of those guys are Chris Bryant and George Springer, who both signed good contracts.
Oh, yes,
$150+ million for each of them. But
yes, that's correct.
Could have definitely been more.
Yeah.
Were they able to go into free agency after a really strong year and not during
Instead
the
of
pandemic?
A whole another extra,
So
I agree.
That's where the service time manipulation that we have talked about
has really
that we think is going to be less of a problem. So,
and I'm glad.
Yes.
That's needed to be addressed for years.
That I can't wait. I think that's going to be awesome. But I just brought it up. There was a signing today. It was a very big signing. Chris Bryant.
Yeah.
He's going to the Rockies. I mean, who would have thought? Cole,
You know,
I mean, you're sorry, Ryan, but Cole, you're a Colorado native. Can you just give us your thoughts on Chris Bryant coming to the Rockies?
So I think the biggest thing.
I don't mind the signing. I like you said, when we were talking before the show, you're always going to respect a team who's trying to get themselves into a better situation by spending money. That's what the Rockies did by going and getting Chris Bryant. My whole thing is the whole going back to Nolan Arenado. They traded him away about 13 months ago and gave the Cardinals $51 million to pay him and then go out and spend 182 on Chris Bryant. I'm just confused by that a little bit. But again, I'm not going to blame a team for going out and making themselves better and going and getting a big bat like Chris Bryant. The stats he's going to put up at Coors is going to be fantastic. So they got a big name, which should put some more people in seats, but I question the whole thing with Arenado a little bit.
Inherently, that's what you should do. Like, look, Nolan was the franchise guy. He was the face.
And they gave him franchise type money.
When they gave him that money, that's exactly what they were saying. But to give him up and then to see them spend this kind of money on Bryant,
It makes
another third baseman, it's like, okay, yes, this doesn't feel right.
Well, it feels like Rockies.
It feels like their existence, to be honest, just is a little convoluted.
With the exception of 2007, and funny enough, I mean that postseason run started in a game 163 against the San Diego Padres in a controversial play at home plate. Granted, there were no outs, but Matt Holliday slid into home. The catcher was blocking the plate. His hand didn't really touch home plate, but he was called safe. There was no baseball rule.
How hard was that? How hard was it to relive that just now?
I mean,
was it
happens. I mean, so Padre fans need to get over the fact that Matt Holliday didn't touch home plate and get over the fact that they were leading by 2 runs going into that half inning, and Trevor Hoffman, like the second greatest closer of all time, blew it. But anyways, Matt Holliday asked that he was for some reason Padres spring training on Tuesday.
That's funny.
And
That's actually really funny.
And a reporter asked him, they're like, "Hey Matt, you're at Padres spring training. If we gotta ask him the question, did you touch?
Free.
Did you touch home plate? Like San Diego fans want to know." And he's like, "Well, in the heat of the moment, I don't really remember. I was like the umpire. I didn't make the call.
He got knocked unconscious. Like he hit his head.
Yeah,
so hard,
yeah.
He probably actually genuinely does not know what happened.
Right. So I mean, like in a way, I believe him.
That's pretty funny.
Oh yeah. Yes, he knows the answer. Matt Holliday is an all-time great Rocky, but
that's pretty funny.
With the outside of that, they don't have much. They made it to the playoffs in 2018 as a wild card team. They beat the Cubs. That kind of really ended their it wasn't a dynasty, but their little playoff run right there. But I mean, the Rockies, they're well regarded in the fact that they don't make a ton of smart moves. But
yeah,
to see them at least trying to win, like Ryan mentioned, that I mentioned, it's good.
Just put yourself in the mix.
Right. And the worst thing that comes of it is you get fans in the seats who buy season tickets because they're like, oh, I want to go see Chris Bryant play. And then you suck. But you're trying to win. You're trying to bring more money into your franchise by winning and getting people into the ballpark. So I'm not going to criticize them for that.
Yeah.
But like you guys mentioned, okay, well, if you want to try and win, then why did you trade Nolan Arenado with $50 million to then spend money on a free agent who is not as good, plays the same position as him? It doesn't make sense, but they're trying to win.
What made me smile was like a few days ago when it said that they were in the mix for him. Like that alone, like it shows there's an effort, there's a sense of urgency. We need to go out and do something. We can't be bystanders. We can't just rely on another season of what we have. We need to actively get better. Just by showing that effort, like that alone, at least for me, like was like, okay, that's a sign of progress and change.
Yeah.
So that alone, like just seeing that they were in the mix was enough to convince me, like, okay, this team is about getting better now.
Well, and when I saw that news, the Giants are obviously interested in Bryant because he was a Giant to end last year, and they still have those openings. But the Padres are also interested in Bryant because the Padres only have 3 active outfielders on their roster. Bryant has played a ton of outfield, so Bryant went to college in San Diego at the University of San Diego, so it just made sense. So I figured, the Rockies, just trying to jack up the price, good for them. But for them to actually make the signing was pretty shocking today. And
they got Russell Wilson, now they got Chris Bryant.
Yeah, it was a very shocking move, but it's a move that you like to see for a team that's really struggled the past few years to say, hey, we're tired of losing. Let's go make a move that could get us closer to contending. It's not going to be the move that gets you there, but it's going to make you closer to contending, and I think that's important for them.
And admittedly, I wrote an article talking about the Padres being rumored to have interest in Chris Bryant.
Oh, so you're the jinx?
And I submitted it about an hour before the news broke. So
you're the jinx?
That was a tough waste of time.
Tough scene. Hey, in your defense, I wrote an article for the Bureau about like how spring training was being negatively impacted not having it this year, and then an hour later the lockout ended.
So then you had to change.
That's a good thing, though. I see that as a plus.
That's a win, Cole. That's a win
for me.
That's taking a bullet for baseball.
Yeah.
Hey, I respect Cole for doing that, but Dom, you fumbled the bag.
That's right.
You fumbled the bag.
That's all right. No, I think it was the Padres.
Well, them too, but
the Padres fumbled the bag, and
Dom aided to that.
In February of 2018 is when they fumbled the bag.
Yeah. Sorry.
You know what I'm referring to, Ryan?
Yes.
There you go. We don't need to talk about it. Other moves.
Can I talk about one?
Go ahead. Let's talk about Zach Greinke, Ryan.
The best news of the day for me. Zach Greinke back to the Royals. And let me explain why. Zach Greinke has always been one of my favorite Royals. Yeah, he doesn't have the greatest personality, but that man is awesome.
His personality is awesome.
Fantastic. Like the lack of a personality is what makes his personality great.
And that's exactly the best part about him. But here's the thing. I was texting my mom early in the day after Mike Minor was traded, and she said, who's going to be the leader for the young guys? I said, I've said it all along. Bring back Greinke 1 year, see what he does. And you know what? They did it. I was very happy. And you know what? I think just his presence is going to help the young guys. Exactly. And I'm okay with that. Especially for the young guys like Singer, Bubich, Daniel Lynch, Jackson Kowar, and Carlos Hernandez. Having that guy there who is an accomplished pitcher, who's won a Cy Young in Kansas City, is important. So I'm very happy that Greinke is back. I think it is a great move. And you know what? It's worth the $13 million because, one, he's still a solid pitcher, and he's just going to be a good guy to have in the clubhouse. Whether it's just leading by example, I think it's a good thing regardless. 1-year deal. Exactly. So, and one of my favorite Royals is coming home. So I'm extremely happy. Yeah. The Phillies are making moves, and I respect it, especially that bullpen. Yeah.
The lineup needs to go Segura at the top, Harper at the 2, Hoskins at the 3, and then Schwarber at the 4. You have two of the best on-base guys behind a guy that loves to get base hits at the top, and then you got the masher Schwarber to come in from behind him.
And then Real Muto at 5?
No, 100%.
Yes.
Yeah. I think, yeah. So I
lineup.
I like
I do too.
It's cheap.
Pain.
It's 2 it's 2
I'm glad
years.
it's on my division. Yeah.
Yeah.
Trade.
We were going to get to that.
I
Yeah.
absolutely
So
hated
I
that
guess
trade. It was terrible.
I guess this can kind of be the segue.
That is a terrible trade.
Yeah, I
Why?
really did not like this trade. I
agree.
I think the
Yeah,
Yankees.
are you saying the Yankees didn't need a right-handed power bat?
A guy
Well,
that
they
can't
got
stay
rid of-
healthy?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I agree. Definitely. Yeah. But here's the thing. They just signed Rizzo, which is a good move. Not at all. He's been through the ringer the past week.
A tweet.
Hope you
saying,
didn't buy a house.
Yeah, I saw.
Yikes.
He needed his car.
Missing car and surprise.
I'll take it.
Twins.
Yeah, Gary Sanchez is no longer a top 5 catcher, unfortunately, now that Yankees fans aren't hyping him up so much.
Right, yeah. Now,
but I do want to mention something about this trade. I think it's terrible for the lone reason that they went out and got Donaldson and are paying his entire contract. Yeah, 21 over the next 2 years, then an $8 million buyout. That's a terrible move, especially a guy that has not been healthy in recent years. Can't stay healthy. Yeah, there's a power bat, right-handed power bat that they didn't need. I will give them credit. They did bring back Rizzo. I think that's a good move, getting a left-handed bat in the lineup. I respect that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good move. I hate this trade. I would have rather kept Gio Urshela.
Yeah, Rizzo is
Yeah.
but Rizzo is made for Yankee Stadium.
Yes, he is.
Okay, Ryan,
Apparently.
I'm dunk. This is the Dunk on Yankees fans show tonight because everything that they just love to say is just getting thrown right at the face. Gary Sanchez, top 5 catcher, and then all of a sudden he gets shipped off.
in the months of like we're gonna little to nothing for Matt Olson, who's
Yeah.
arguably the best at his position.
Yeah, I was just shocked that Miguel Andujar was not a part of this trade.
Yeah, honestly, me too.
No, I mean it's just a
I
joke
agree.
because like on Yankees Twitter they're like,
Mhm.
well, Miguel Andujar and Clint Frazier. I forget where Frazier is now.
Is he
He's
with
with
the Cubs?
Right.
Yeah, Cubs.
He's with the Cubs.
So I mean,
Good for him. He
yeah.
needed to get the heck out of there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he
did. And he's no longer in those Yankee trade rumors anymore. So
Yeah.
good.
I just-
Every trade offer. Give me Clint Frazier, Miguel
it's
Andujar.
just pure comedy that fan base is.
Yeah,
I just think it's a
low-level
terrible
prospect
trade.
for your best player.
Right, but their infield is still interesting because they have like 6 quality infielders now. They have Connor Falefa, who's probably going to be playing short.
Yep.
You have Donaldson,
It
who
just feels so weird.
right.
Yeah.
You have Donaldson, who while healthy is going to play third.
Yeah.
You have Gleyber Torres, who's probably going to play second base, and can mix in there with those 3 guys can all play left side of the infield.
Yeah.
You have DJ LeMay, who can play second and first. You just signed Anthony Rizzo, and you have Luke Voigt still.
Oh boy.
So
I think Voigt's going to get dealt.
He's the
Yeah.
next guy where it's
He's
going to be
next.
like, we'll
Yep.
give you Luke Voigt for X player.
right, but I think Luke Voigt's probably going to serve as their DH. They've mentioned that Giancarlo Stanton is probably going to play in the outfield.
Yeah.
The big body outfield of Joey Gallo, Giancarlo Stanton, and Aaron Judge just it's hot. That's what it is. But
2/3 of Italian descent too.
yeah, just
I just
beastly men.
I think it's a dumb trade if I'm the Yankees.
It was.
Yeah.
Just
It
taking
didn't
on
make
that
sense.
contract is a horrible idea. Use that money, and like you said, Cole, go get Correa
Go
or
get-
Story.
If you're gonna
Just
add,
improve at
yeah,
shortstop.
If you're gonna add another power hitting righty. Go get the, arguably the one of the best 2 guys
Yeah.
remaining.
I agree, 100%.
And it's going to be fascinating to see because they're still apparently in on Freddie Freeman, which
No way.
after signing
No
Anthony
way.
Rizzo makes very little sense. But if you're looking
No
at
way.
it, the other 2 teams in there are the Blue Jays, who just traded for the third
Oh
baseman.
my
So
God.
that would be
Well,
fascinating.
the Blue Jays are also in on Jose Ramirez too.
They're going
yes,
for it. Dude.
and the other team
They're
is
going
the blue people from Southern California.
Oh, the Dodgers.
The Dodgers, and times got so desperate for me, guys, that Gary Sheffield Jr., who's a loser, tweeted out that
he
like
is.
he is Ryan. I mean, if Gary Sheffield Jr. is listening right now, I just called you a loser.
You're
like,
a loser.
I'm sorry, dude. And
Sorry, buddy.
he tweeted out that Yankees fans, everyone who retweets this, if Freddie Freeman becomes a Yankee, will give up drinking soda for 2 years. And I too retweeted that. And if you know anything about me, I love Diet Coke. So
You're addicted to Diet Coke.
Yeah.
not really. I'm not that addicted. Like
You were freshman year.
it was really bad freshman year.
Freshman year, you would only go to the store just to get Diet Coke.
No, I would go down to the dining hall just to get Diet Coke.
It's
I
free there.
Right, exactly. I
Yeah,
mean,
true.
it wasn't free. It came with the meal plan, so we're already paid for. Let's clarify that. But
Yeah, that's true.
so
Nothing's free.
like I'm willing to do
Facts.
anything to make sure that the best first baseman in baseball does not go to the Los Angeles Dodgers because Max Muncy is more than capable of playing second base. He's probably going to miss the entire year with a
No.
torn UCL.
No, Dave Roberts said he's ready to go for opening day.
Yeah, okay. Dave Roberts is a bona fide liar and
I don't know how. I don't know
He
how
can
that's
at-
possible.
He can at least hit, right?
Yeah.
Bro tore his UCL. I mean, he could DH. I don't know,
Yeah.
but
I think that's their thought is they get Freeman so they have their first baseman
God,
and then they got their DH
my
and Muncy.
lord. My lord.
Hey, I
Dom.
don't like how it sounds either, but like let's be real. Like it's the
Wait, no.
Dodgers.
Pujols has to go back to the Dodgers.
right. And so my thing is that the Dodgers
No,
don't
that's not
ever
happening.
really make
There's a
these.
chance.
The Dodgers don't make these signings very often, where they get a free agent who is on the older side. He's going to be 32, plays first base. He wants a big deal. That's why the Braves didn't go out and re-sign him.
Which is stupid.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother discussion that we
Yes.
don't have time for because we got to
Agreed.
be out of here in
4
5 minutes. Yes,
Few
4 or 5
minutes.
Four
minutes.
minutes.
But so the Dodgers don't really make this type of signing where they sign an old free agent who's going to ask for a lot of money over a long period of time. But I mean, Freddie Freeman is the best first baseman in baseball right now.
Yes.
He's on a Hall of Fame trajectory.
Yes.
So, like, no one's going to criticize them and be like, oh, Dodgers, you're idiots. Like, this would be a move that is a massive upgrade for them.
Yeah.
Now, I'm willing to give up drinking soda for 2 months if Freddie is not going to go to Dodgers. So, it was a tough week because the hopes were, okay, Freddie Freeman just goes back to the Braves. And
Well,
then,
did you see that the Padres are interested in Freeman, but they've
that's
got
just them jacking up the price.
but no, they've just got one big fish hook.
Yes. Thank you. Eric Hosmer is.
Hey, Hosmer's in DH.
But it's so good
For
Freddie
$141
Freeman.
million.
That'd be really dumb. Well, it's only $59 million now. Oh, only.
For how many years?
4. It's tough. It's okay.
You know,
Or maybe it's 79. I don't know. It's a lot.
I'm pretty sure it's 79.
Yeah.
No, it's whatever.
It doesn't matter.
It's
It's a
Still bad.
lot. Way
Still
too much.
bad.
But the Red Sox were rumored to be interested in a package for Will Myers and Eric Hosmer. Who knows if that's actually true?
No way.
Rumor, yeah. Well, it would come with prospects and money. But if the Padres do that, then maybe they can find a way to make it happen. But it's not going to happen.
No.
Unfortunately.
Man. What would
Jock-
you give up to get rid of Hosmer? I need to know.
Down horrendous.
What would I do? I mean, I would trade Campusano. He's the Padres' number 3 prospect by all accounts. One of the top catching prospects in baseball. And then I'd pay half his contract and I'd throw in Jackson Merrill, Padres' first-round pick last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like the 7th prospect in the org. Like, it's going to take that much to get rid of Hosmer because he sucks. He's getting paid a lot, and you got to commit to him for a while. And he hasn't really been working that hard from reports.
Also, that tweet you sent me yesterday. Whoo!
Yeah. Eric Hosmer basically said, like, the Padres are basically operating like no other teams would right now, but that's not my problem. I just got to go out there and work.
It was awesome because he said great things about the Royals.
Yes.
Should have never left, buddy.
Well, I mean, he got it back in San Diego.
The Royals offered him more money over less years.
They had better weather. There's beaches, not landlocked.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. There's no getting out of that one. Wait, no. Lake of the Ozarks, baby.
Right. Lake of the Ozarks, living on Coronado next to the Pacific Ocean.
I tried.
Right. No,
I
hey,
tried.
you are making the good enough pitch that you can.
The Royals offered him 7 years, 147.
It was just so bad. Oh,
And then he takes 8 years, 141.
144, but yes.
144.
Not a big difference. But I mean,
I love seeing it backfire.
We
Not
gotta-
for your sake, but for his.
yeah, we got to be out of here in 1 minute. So Fernando Tatis Jr. is out for 3 months. That was painful. I went to Panda Express on Monday to get a fortune cookie to help improve my mood, and my fortune ripped when I pulled it out of the cookie.
That's hilarious.
So it was a tough
That is
day
the tragic
Oh my
irony
God,
to be a
Dom.
Padres fan.
of Dominic Stern.
Hey, Dom,
What?
can you answer to me which
Oh my
motorcycle
God,
accident
it's
was? Can you tell me
hilarious.
which one?
Which one?
Yeah, which one?
Which
Funny.
one?
Oh, just aggravating stuff.
And then the golf cart yesterday?
Yeah, I missed that by a minute, but yeah, it was
What
tough
is
day.
going on over there?
Not great things, but it's okay because go Padres. Opening day is here in Phoenix.
Are you gonna go to that?
I probably will be, yes, unless something pops up.
Hey, Dom, do you know what would be a fun bet for us two to make?
What?
Whose team wins the World Series first?
Well, I mean, the Padres will.
I'm very tempted to make that bet with you.
All right, we got
I'm
to.
not getting in on that.
Yeah. Oh, you still owe me a You still owe me a jersey.
Oh, I have a
for
plan.
South.
Getting 2 jerseys for your birthday. One for the bet, one for someone else that you want, okay?
Okay, cool.
Is that okay?
That's fine with me.
Yeah.
As long as you just knew. All right, we thank you all.
You should owe me a jersey.
I do. Oh. Okay. Thank you all for tuning in to the Golden Sombrero Show live on YouTube and BlazeRadioOnline.com from the Bill Austin Radio Studio. I'm Dominic Stern on behalf of Ryan Blank and Cole Bradley. We thank you. Enjoy spring training baseball starting
Yes.
tomorrow.
Hello.
We can't wait to catch you up on all the action. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next Wednesday.